This beat I'm about to play for you is not so great. Let's call this beat A. The arrangement is strong, but it lacks cohesion, and it sounds unsure of itself. But if we listen to the beat we made in part 1, let's call this beat B, it sounds clearer and glued together. When two people aren't communicating, you can see it in their body language. In music, we can gauge communication too. Think of frequency as the body language of the music. Let's start with the main drums in beat A. The kick is bassy, but it doesn't have any top end. I can tell because the snare is taking up all those frequencies by itself. The hi-hat is so low in pitch that it's hitting where the snare and vocals should be, and not with enough force. When I play beat B, pay attention to what you find different and then I'll share my thoughts. I paused the video right here for a reason. The kick has way more harmonics, giving it presence. Both the hi-hat and snare are higher in pitch and snappier in length, so every sample has its own space. In this very frame, we can see all three of them line up. It looks like a ramp. But what I want you to take away from this is that these three separate sounds were shaped with the goal of clarity and cohesion. This is one of the tips I shared in part 1 because layering can create more energy and will bring any beat to the next level. Beat A's layers are a strong foundation, but a little boring on their own. Beat B's layers are more exciting, but can quickly overcrowd a track in the wrong context. Both styles have pros and cons, and it all depends on what the song needs. In beat B, I use Neoverb Pro on one of the layers, automating it to turn on every other loop. In beat A, I purposely overlapped two instruments that are getting in the way of each other and need their own space. We call this frequency masking. When masking appears in a mix, your tracks will begin to lose clarity and sound muddy due to multiple sounds fighting for attention in a similar frequency range. To identify where muddiness is occurring, you can pull out Neutron Pro's masking meter to see where this is happening. You can use the sensitivity knob to adjust how much of the masking is being visually represented. As you can see, the masking meter is reacting a lot, showing a significant masking is occurring in this area. To fix our frequency masking problem, I try to create space for both of these instruments by filtering them at different intervals and having the melodies play at different times. Now if we look at the masking meter, we'll see it reacting less, meaning we have successfully created space for these instruments so they sit better in the mix together. To make this effect, I put Neoverb Pro after the low pass filter, so any signal that gets introduced will blur into the background, making it feel smoother. Sometimes presets are perfect, but it's always best to tweak them to fit the needs of your song. I love this serum pad, but it takes a long time to start and finish. I can fix this by changing the volume attack and volume sustain. If you're new to those ideas, you're going to want to research ADSR, or attack, decay, sustain, release. And don't worry, there's tons of online resources to get you started with sound design. In beat B, I went an extra step by low passing inside the preset, changing it even more. One of the very first mistakes I made as a producer is thinking that a kick hits because of the sample. In most recorded music, either old or new, punchy kicks happen because of the processing that affects the entire master, either through compression or distortion. To show you what I mean, I'm going to take the distortion off of this bus and apply it directly to the kick. Neutron Pro's Exciter is perfect for this. It introduces harmonics without the need to hard clip or push your song into the red. But as soon as I move the distortion back to the entire group, the kick interacts with the rest of the song. I'm pushing the distortion here to the extreme so you can hear the effect, but it's definitely better to be subtle about it. Okay, this whole video I've been really rude to beat A, so let's use all these tips to make the idea stronger. The kick is warm and the pads feel ambient, so let's find the right samples to emphasize this darker feeling. First, I'll replace this rimshot snare with a tight clap. Let's make the hi-hat shorter and higher in pitch. For the chords, we'll low pass it, which really makes the 808 shine. I'm also turning down the BPM because I think this beat might benefit from a slower vibe. Right now the 808 is shorter than the chord progression, so I decided to make the chords short too, giving the 808 more room to breathe. This chord preset has a lot of built-in effects, so I'm going to tweak it by turning off the built-in delay. Once again, adding Neutron Pro to the entire track warms up the kick and makes it punchier. And finally, I decided to bring back that lead melody. Instead of low passing, I used chopping and a tape stop plugin to achieve a nice glitchy fill to the track. Here's the idea before I applied all the tips. And here's after. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you got something out of that. If you make your first beat from this video, please feel free to tag me in iZotope and we will definitely check it out. Peace.